Did you know? The idea for Spirited Away came from creator Hayao Miyazaki wanting to make a film that 10-year-old girls could relate to. After announcing his retirement in 1997, he would often spend his vacation at a mountain cabin with his family. Accompanying them were a group of 5-year-old girls who were friends with his daughter and the rest of the family. They became an unexpected source of inspiration for Miyazaki as the girls were apathetic and quickly approaching adolescence. Miyazaki realized that there was a lack of movies about 10-year-olds, the problems they faced, and what they held most dear in their hearts. This was also considering the fact that Miyazaki's previous work, My Neighbor Totoro and Kiki's Delivery Service, were aimed at toddlers and teenagers. Miyazaki read some of the girls' magazines to find out what they held dear, but quickly realized the publications only dealt with superficial things like having crushes on boys. This wouldn't do. He knew he needed to make a film that featured a complex and exciting story with a grounded and relatable main character. The movie's main protagonist is 10-year-old Chihiro, a regular human girl surrounded by eccentric and magical characters. This was a departure from Miyazaki's usual style, which often depicted witches and strange creatures as the main characters. Miyazaki elaborated, "Until now, I wish there was such a person leading characters. This time, however, I created a heroine who is an ordinary girl, someone with whom the audience can sympathize with. Someone about whom they can say, yes, it's like that. It's very important to make it plain and unexaggerated." Spirited Away, like most of Miyazaki's movies, was created without a script. They only have storyboards, which he draws and writes almost entirely by himself. Miyazaki said, "We never know where the story will go, but we just keep working on the film as it develops. It's a dangerous way to make an animation film, and I would like it to be different, but unfortunately that's the way I work, and everyone else is kind of forced to subject themselves to it." Some of the biggest challenges Miyazaki faced while making Spirited Away was shortening the plot so the film wouldn't exceed 3 hours. He also trimmed down time by keeping the amount of eye-catching cinematography to a minimum. At one point in the early stages of production, Miyazaki was frustrated with Chihiro and how she looked. He thought she was way too dull. He was relieved when he saw that Chihiro becomes a very charming and likable heroine by the end of the film. For Miyazaki, there are 2 pivotal scenes in Spirited Away that best showcase Chihiro's character development. The first scene is where she's sitting in the back of her parents' car looking very vulnerable and innocent. The other scene is all the way at the end where she's very energetic, brave, and full of life after going on such a crazy adventure. The river spirit, a character that shows up in the bathhouse looking dirty and smelling badly, is based on Miyazaki's real-life experiences. Miyazaki said, "I cleaned a river once, my local river, and there really was a bicycle. It was stuck in there. 10 of us wrapped a rope around the bars and slowly pulled it out. We really cleaned up the river and the fish came back. And that's why I added that scene, but the smell of what they dug up was really awful. Everyone had just been throwing stuff into that river over the years, so it was an absolute mess." The river spirit symbolizes the harsh negative effects that pollution leaves on nature and the difficulties of recovering from it. Spirited Away is also filled with plenty of quiet moments without any action, where Chihiro just looks into the distance while thinking. Miyazaki calls these scenes ma, meaning an interval, and believes they're an essential part of his films and movies in general. He believes you have to take a moment to relax, breathe, and build tension in your film with quieter moments. In his opinion, most filmmakers are afraid of silence. They worry about boring the audience and losing their attention. But having your film filled with constant action can quickly become tiring and ineffective. Miyazaki also has a close relationship with John Lasseter, the chief creative officer of Pixar and the man behind Toy Story. When Lasseter was a young animator at Disney, members of Studio Ghibli visited Disney to see the American process of animation, and Lasseter later visited Studio Ghibli. Miyazaki apparently hated computer animation, but Lasseter showed the short films Luxo Jr. and Red's Dream anyway. Miyazaki was pleasantly surprised, and the two became friends. This friendship led to the first international screening of Spirited Away taking place at Pixar Studios. Miyazaki wanted Lasseter to help him with the English dub, so Lasseter convinced Disney to buy the distribution rights. Disney now owns the rights to publish Studio Ghibli's films in the West, but they had to agree to some very strict conditions to acquire these rights. Disney were not allowed to alter or cut the films at all. This is something Miyazaki was very adamant about. There's even a rumor that when Miramax co-founder Harvey Weinstein was handling the US release of Princess Mononoke, Miyazaki sent him a katana in the mail along with a message saying no cuts. Miyazaki told The Guardian, "Actually, my producer did that. Although I did go to New York to meet this man, this Harvey Weinstein, and I was bombarded with this aggressive attack, all these demands for cuts. I defeated him." Even though Disney did promise not to alter the films, they still added additional dialogue. In the American version of Spirited Away, Chihiro often narrates what she sees and what's going on in the movie.
It's a bathhouse.
This isn't part of the original. While it might be apparent to a Japanese viewer that it's a bathhouse, an American viewer might not recognize it. Other than that, Pixar made sure everything else about the film stayed the same. For Lasseter, it was important that Miyazaki's vision would not be altered. Spirited Away became the highest-grossing movie in Japan, overtaking films like James Cameron's Titanic. Spirited Away still remains Studio Ghibli's most commercially successful and critically acclaimed film. In the 2003 Academy Awards, Spirited Away was nominated for Best Animated Feature, and it won. Miyazaki did not attend the ceremony, however. He revealed in 2009 that he was protesting President George W. Bush's decision to invade Iraq that year. Miyazaki said, "The reason why I wasn't here for the Academy Award was because I didn't want to visit a country that was bombing Iraq. At the time, my producer shut me up and didn't allow me to say that, but I don't see him around today." By the way, my producer also shared in that feeling. Miyazaki wouldn't come to the United States for 6 years. He eventually decided to break his boycott due to his close friendship with John Lasseter, who was helping to bring Ponyo to the US. If you clicked on this video, you're probably a fan of anime. If you are and you want an easy and reliable way to watch your favorite anime, you might want to check out Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll have beloved animes like One Piece, Attack on Titan, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and they're offering a free trial of their premium service to Did You Know Movies viewers. With Crunchyroll Premium, you can watch episodes within an hour after they air in Japan, and it's all ad-free. You can watch them wherever you like, in your living room, on Wii U, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, on your desktop computer, or even on your mobile devices. Everything Crunchyroll is officially licensed and supports the dedicated creators in Japan. So if you want easy access to the latest and greatest anime, try out this special 30-day free trial of Crunchyroll Premium by going to crunchyroll.com/DYKM or by clicking the link below. Make sure you subscribe for more facts and trivia, and if you liked this video, give it a like. Hi, I'm Brutalmoose, and if you want to hear more of my voice, you can check out my video on Restaurant Empire 2. It's almost exactly like Spirited Away, if Spirited Away was a video about a video game where you make restaurants. Okay, it's not really that close. But you could watch it anyway.